I'm just going to give a little bit of an introduction to my piece, Burns from Beyond. My name is haiko-pena, and I'm thrilled to see all of you here for the premiere of Burns from Beyond, a choral telling of the Falcon Lake Incident. So this project began about a year ago. I was having coffee at Tim Hortons with Arlene, the choir director of Sane Singers, and she suggested that I write something for her choir. And at the time, I was reading a book about the Falcon Lake Incident, when in 1967, the Polish immigrant Stefan Michalak saw a UFO in the bush near Falcon Lake. So I pitched the idea of a dramatic choral work telling of this story. Arlene and the choir were both interested in going on this journey into a very unconventional choral direction, you could say. And after a few months of writing and then a few months of rehearsals, we're here. And it was originally scored for piano, flute, violin, and women's choir. But along the way, we had a few other instruments join in. So we have guitar, bass, and drums as well, with members of Plain Salt. So it's really brought a great dynamic to the sound that I wasn't originally hearing. And the work is divided into 5 main movements. So I'm just going to take a moment to talk you through those. If you take out your programs, there's an insert that you can just pull out of there, which has the script for Burns from Beyond. And I call it a script because it is meant kind of as a dramatic work, even though we're not necessarily acting. We are telling the story up here. I'm just going to go through some of it. So we have 5 movements. Movement 1 is Victoria Day Long Weekend, 1967. It's an instrumental in the style of a doo-wop, and it suggests leisurely beach culture, a calm before the storm. Movement 2 is called Stefan Michalak, and this is a polka, which is a nod to Stefan's Polish heritage. And the choir gives a summary of his life up until the moment of the encounter. Movement 3 is 2 cigar-shaped objects, and I'll just let you read that one because that is the main drama of that is the sighting, the event. Movement 4A is an instrumental, The Sickness That Followed. That's Stefan's mad dash back to the number 1, vomiting and smelling of sulfur. And apparently he was hours away from the highway, so that would have been quite a dash. And then 4B is an optional piano solo, which will be performed tonight, called A Trip to Mayo Clinic. Following the incident, Stefan travels to Mayo Clinic for tests. Grill-looking burn marks are pronounced. And then we end with the 5th movement, Corroborating Reports. 3 soloists point to other famous Manitoba UFO sightings in this lilting minuet. In a grand final chorus, the choir shows overwhelming confidence in Stefan's account and the corroborating reports. And I should get back to telling you what the book that I was reading during the time when I talked to Arlene. It's called When They Appeared. And it marks the 50th anniversary of the sighting. And it has a few different sections by different authors. So Burns from Beyond is mostly based on Stefan Michalak's own account from 1967 in a booklet called My Encounter with the UFO. And it's reprinted in When They Appeared. The book also includes a memoir written by his son, Stan Michalak, and an analysis by UFO researcher Chris Rutkowski. And I also drew from both of their writing as well when they appeared. And now I'm going to announce that Stan and Chris are both here tonight with their wives. So, that's a special welcome to Stan, Sybil, and Donna and Chris. Thanks for being here, guys. And as just one final note, I just wanted to mention that this is not necessarily a fact-by-fact telling of the story. I drew inspiration from the main details, but then I did take some creative liberties, and I've interpreted Stefan Michalak as a kind of folk hero, or almost a kind of Prometheus. So here it is, the otherworldly premiere of Burns from Beyond.